The thing that sustains me really is a build-up of a lot of experience, I think. And it goes back to even pre-verbal stages of my life where I had like a direct relationship with nature. I guess in general, what sustains me is relationship.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So talking about the non-verbal and the very early and very raw relationship with nature, like being in your own world and then without a lot of stimuli. In a modern world, we can almost not imagine how that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I have had the luck, I call it luck now, to have been able to grow up in a very low stimuli environment.
Mm.
So it's still a memory in me, and whenever I need to find a real, let's say, flat or a zero point of departure, I go to nature. Mm-hmm. Because that, it's a strong sense that I belong to that. It's a part of me. I am it also. And so, yeah.
So you were saying, good. What sustains you is relationships, and then, in a way, for the relationship with yourself, what works is to go to be in an environment which has fewer stimuli, and that's nature.
Yeah, that's a strong part of it, the nature, and then. In that, of course, I get a sense of me, in the very elementary definition of that. So I can, feel the rhythm of me. And that is very important, that I get a sense of the pulsation that I have, especially when I get into stressed states or, too much stimuli, then I tend to lose my rhythm. I tend to lose my flow. I tend to lose my naturalness, I would say. So part of my practice is really to reconnect, as much as I can, and also now living in a city to reconnect to my pulsatory states. It's like my breathing. It's like feeling my heart. It's like when I hear the wind, I hear the wind in me through my breath. When it's a sunny day, I connect with the light in me. So it's very much the microcosm of me that I tune or I consciously bring into relationship with the macrocosm.
So I want to highlight something that you're talking about, that sense of self, the sense of me. And in this case, it's absolutely not an abstraction. It's very experiential, and you're related to the pulsatory sense, and more specifically to feeling the breath in you and feeling the blood flow in you, and that's a sense of self, that experienced sense of self.
Yeah, it's a very physical thing, it's more than that. It's feeling my embodiedness, it's feeling my body, it's really feeling the muscle I have or the ground I relate to or I put my feet on. This is something that I developed, and I think very early on, and I never kind of lost it. Just being able to sense myself on a physical level is what keeps me going, and to be able to slow down, to be able to go to my own rhythm. And then I talk about that comes to the relationship then with other people. That many times they are not so tuned into themselves, or they're not so embodied. And then more than it takes then some more effort for me to really allow myself to just be with my own pulsation.
So we're talking about you're talking about some very specific things again, and you mentioned the feet, you mentioned the breathing, so what else? What is your repertoire, to help you get to reconnecting with your sense of self?
It's in a larger sense, the orientation I need with what is traditionally known as the 4 directions. Lessons I learned from religious traditions or mythological traditions like Druidism or like the Native American teachings. They always talk about the 4 directions and the lessons that you get from there. So I try to see whatever comes to me, like now we sitting in front of each other, to see that as a lesson. What can I get out of it? How is it enriching me? How is it challenging me? How do I reorganize myself with that direction? So things can come from above, they can come from below, and from all sides. So just being able to have this orientation, also the seasons. What season are we going into? Now it's summer. Now we're going to Indian summer. Now the fruits are ripe. The lesson now for me is to take time to eat the fruit, to get in tune with the mellowness of life, with my own mellowness. After the amounts of sunlight that have been around me during summer, I am really charged with this, and I help myself more and more. As each year passes, I learn this lesson to stay in this rhythm. Charge myself during summer, and then to get the fruit into me, and then also I need to prepare for autumn and for winter, which will be darker days, and then I can get more inside, and I can get into my next to the fire, the warmth, and I can do some writing, or I can do some more thinking. So that's me, and then of course the people that are living around me, my family and friends, they have to also be prepared that I have this certain rhythm and I have my needs in that. So sometimes when people in my family, they want to go out and I want to stay in, it's like it can become a conflict. But then in a way, really staying fidel, really staying with my flow, and to make it transparent also, to allow it that the other sees how much I need, to go on my rhythm. I'll become within 5 minutes or so. That really is very important, I think, to claim, not to be lived by circumstances or by the rhythm of other people, but to stay really connected to your own rhythm.
So I want to play it back a little bit. There's that sense of finding your own rhythm, and the sense of finding it is in finding, in a way, your harmony with the flow of time and the flow of seasons, and so the flow. There's a synchronization or harmony between your flow and the flow of seasons.
Yeah.
And then comes the question of how does this play in sync or not with other people, including your family, and a question of being true to your own rhythm. So that so it's not about simply just adapting, but there is a part where there is an importance in staying true to your own flow.
Yes. Well, my experience has been that the more I am in tune with my own flow, the more other people around me benefit from it. If I really have a strong pulsation and I can feel it, then my family members, they like to be around me. Or my clients, when I work with clients, they sense this harmony in a way. They cannot put the finger on it, but then I get messages like, "Oh, how nice it is, to be with you. How good it is now for me." So allowing other people to find their own flow. And I think that's on some level, that's what I'm always doing. Whenever I'm with somebody, to harmonize my flow with the flow of the other person. So talking, for instance, and hearing the resonance of the voice, and moving in a certain way, It all helps to synchronize the energies. So then you can really be together with somebody. You can be together with your activity. You can be together with the nature.
Yeah. So there's a very concrete part when we're talking about synchronizing, harmonizing. It's not some kind of an abstract concept, but it's about noticing, those things that allow for synchronization, which is partly the talk and the content of the talk, but partly also maybe the rhythms, the voice, the movement, the body language, so that paying attention to those things creates that sense of harmony.
Yeah. It's very, it's a creative process, because sometimes I can sit with friends and then, when you come into a group, where are you going to sit? What's the place you're going to take, so that you can kind of harmonize with the unity that has formed already. And I try to be aware of these kinds of things, maybe I want to change places, maybe I want to sit closer, or I want, to give you a little bit more space, or I want to give me a little bit more space. Or I see a cat or a dog, running around. And so it's like everything is connected in a way. And I need to know my place. I need to to be in tune enough with the people and the situation now to be able to harmonize. I could also, of course, change the harmony into a little bit of chaos. That's nice also. If something gets boring or if something gets, we need to move a little bit. We need to move the energy a little bit. So then I can become more confrontative, or I can become more, ticklish, or playfully challenging the situation.
But so again, the context there is that a sense that we're living in a flow of energy that the interaction creates, and that flow is something that we have an impact on, and so we can, govern where it goes in terms of leading it toward more harmony or leading it toward more chaotic energy.
Yeah, it's order and chaos, and we as humans, isn't that miraculously beautiful that we have this capacity to walk around, and we have our batteries with us, and so we can move and we can transform all this energy we have into creative work or creative play or relationship. And on the other hand, it's also nourishing my energy to be able to take in really the humor of somebody, the wit, the hand on the shoulder, and really to be aware this is all sustaining me. It's all bringing energy to my system, and So
I want to slow down this part. You say to take in somebody's humor or warmth and the hand on the shoulder. So that sense of relationship, again, is not something abstract, but there is something that is being transmitted in that interaction. And you say that as you take in, there's almost a physical quality to taking in. There's something that's being transmitted of this person's humor or warmth or energy in general way that gets to you and that feeds you and nurtures you.
Yeah, and that also becomes a very concrete thing that I can sense. I can feel some changes in my cellular environment, if you want, because I feel an expansion in me when, the connection I get with that, for instance, the hand on my shoulder, it's a good connection. So I want to go towards it because it's something very, I need. Who doesn't need to be touched, or who doesn't need to receive warmth, or who doesn't need to receive a smile? So all these come into my senses, and so it really appears to change my internal milieu. It's changing my genetic expression. It changed my all that I already have. It keeps me healthy also. It keeps me going. And I think, unraveling this mystery, it's also a mystery. I think there's, not that I'm looking so much for that, but I think there must be a secret for longevity in all this.
Yeah. And at the very least, if you don't live longer, at least you live better during the time you live. So there's nothing to lose.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big sinner also, when it's getting too good, I can keep going also in the goodness of the good. So then I need to be able to digest all that I took in, you know, and that especially is about food, and it's about substances I take into my body, you know. It's a little bit too much alcohol, it's a little bit too much sugar, it's a little bit too much fat, you know. So I need to find moderateness, which is not very easy. But there also, you know, it's good to have these people around you that give you these signs, you know. Maybe it's enough, you know. Maybe now we can go to something else.
Right.
Yeah. So I realize how important it is that people are regulating me, and I realize how I am able to regulate other people. It's like the saying, and I like that saying, you know, that I heard from the American Indians. They say they circle into the center of their shield, you know, and the shield is like your life task, you know. It's what you become, you know, when you have fulfilled your full potential. But then they say, you know, you are a weaver of that shield, and you are the woven one. And then you are the dreamer, and then also you are the dream. So I like the idea that you know, people can think of me, and it's also energy. And then, you know, when they think of me, they are kind of dreaming me, you know. It's like a awake dream state. That's all. And I like that idea also, that when I'm thinking of somebody, you know, I am interfering with that person's life, you know, and I hope for the better way, you know. Of course, I don't have positive feelings with every person, because then, you know, there's some issue I need to deal. I need to get clear about, you know, certain limits I have, or certain agreements that I feel that were not so well respected. So that's part of the chaos part. That's where the vibration, or where the connection gets a little bit disturbed. But then, of course, the whole purpose is to reharmonize this. So we're not living in an ideal world. It will always be something that we need to finish, you know, the unfinished business we need to finish. But the idea that, you know, I am woven, I am dreamt. What people are doing with me, you know, is also making me. It's building my body, or it's deconstructing my body. So I need to choose good friends, you know, who give me the right food, or who help me keep my balance.
Yeah. So that constant sense of, in a way, in a traditional thinking, the weaver and the woven are totally different. And this is a conception of the world where we are the weaver and the woven. And that's what this interaction is. Yeah. That we live in that interaction.
Exactly. Yes. If you embrace the idea that everything is connected, well, you get into systemic thinking, you know, and then we are dissipative structures, and we are able to order, you know, to create, to metabolize energy, and then we influence the whole world. You know, in Japan you have this people, and they're physicians, and they're working with the butterfly effect. And one day I heard the story of this Japanese man, and he was watching a football game, and then he had a coin in his hand, and then, you know, he wanted to change the outcome of the game by dropping that coin, at the right time, that he figured so that his team would win. It's the extreme of this idea.
Yeah.
It sounds funny, but yeah, it's something I like to go with.
But so it's not an abstract concept that Weaver and Woven, because you're describing it as having the experience of changing and being changed, and then of how this is about who you relate to, who your friends are, and so the choices you make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on many levels, already being in nature, when I was a child, I could swim in ponds, and there were salamanders, and then, swimming underwater with open eyes. Just seeing that salamander changed me, or to see all the small fishes in the swimming, or the frog eggs. The next day was not, I was not the same person, and I literally could sense that, because I had learned so much, and I had been influenced so much by the salamander and by the frog eggs and by the fishes, that already on that level, that seemed to happen, I was not so conscious about it maybe when I was a child, but more I think about it, it really was there. So, and also with other people now on to this day, when I feel, I'm in a strong network, and I have several of those, and I feel I'm very lucky on that level, that, whatever people are telling me, or they are, sending me even as like an article, I can take it in. It changes me, and this person was thinking of me. Why does a person send me an article about a certain subject? Say, oh, it's an accident. No, this person was thinking of me. And then I get this article, and I get to read it, and I say, oh, wow, now I learned so much. And it fits into my path, in a way. It makes me, it weaves me. And somebody dreamt of it.
So, the word dreaming in that sense might be a little bit different from the way we use dreaming in everyday language. So maybe can we talk a little bit more about that?
Well, maybe let me try to talk about dreaming in everyday life as we usually understand it. And this is something that happens during the night when you have your eyes closed and you're into a deep, unconscious realm. Diving into the unconsciousness of your organs, that's the dream state. That there, the images from your unconscious come up, and the conflicts that you have in your organs, in your intestines, they reveal as dreams. That's how I like to think about it. It's maybe not what most people are thinking about when they're talking about dream, but that's how I understand it. Joseph Campbell, for instance, he talked like this. People like Stanley Kellerman, they have this idea. So it's coming up in you. These are archetypal images, but they're also always having some connection with something in your life. It reveals also always a kind of harmonization that needs to happen, or a certain a lesson from a direction that you need to work on. So for most people, the dream, of course, it's like, they are like, there is no active participation in the dream, and the dream just happens. And it's a very mysterious thing. And so people don't have clues how to deal with dreams many times. But in a way, if you look deeper into that world of the dream, it has all the possibilities for growth, for harmonization. And then, for me, then there's only a small step to the awake dream. Because the awake dream also comes from a place in me that I don't know which one it is. It's some organ, it's some part of me, like my stomach or my intestines. And then it's a gut feeling, some people say. It comes from the gut. And then it's like it's almost also like a dream. Are you following that?
So what I'm hearing is the analogy with, in a way, some way of highlighting the unfinished business, so that we can stay in the presence of the unfinished business and have a sense of going toward completion. And so in the traditional dream, it happens in the dream, like a little movie, type thing that we experience. But in the awake dream, it can be that sense that we can get, say, from the stomach, from the gut, but it's going to essentially have that same function of manifesting the unfinished business in a way that we become conscious of it and it can unfold.
Yes, that we become conscious of something, and that this consciousness is also about a larger consciousness. It's a transpersonal consciousness, I believe. It ties or it weaves yourself into the bigger web of life. Because in your dream, in your awake dream or in your night dream, it's about the other, it's about some force, so to be conscious about this in yourself is enlarging your world in a way.
Yeah. So in a way, it's like both intensely personal and highly transpersonal. And the same way as the dream itself is highly personal about your life, but at the same time is connecting to archetypes. So that sense of really deeply in and enlarging, expanding.
Yes. And I like what you say about the personal. It's also personal because you have this unique body, and I have my unique body, and I have my path, with his body. I have to do my path with his body. But I cannot be doing a path on a solitary basis. It's always connected to something larger than me. It's always connected to other consciousness, to life, to even if I'm in the desert, and there are rocks in the desert, the sand in the desert, it's also related to the consciousness of the sand and of the stones. But it brings me to me, that in this path now that I'm doing in the desert or in this rocky area, I need to find how to sustain myself there. Where is the water? Where, can I find the shelter, or where can I find the coolness? So I need to orient myself again, the four directions, and read the. Yes.
So the four directions, what's important is it's not just about specifically the four directions, but it's also by referring to the four directions, a sense of constantly orienting oneself.
Yes.
That we exist. In order to exist, that's where we orient.
Yes. And you exist in a vertical axis, you exist in yourself. So the place where you stand. And then you need to organize your three-dimensional self in this universe, which is three-dimensional and more, of course, 4 and 5, and so on, dimensional.
So as we were talking about dreams this way, I'm wondering if it might make sense to share an experience of a dream, either a dream asleep or a dream awake, that would be an example of what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Well, I come a little bit to dream and desire, and the link between dream and desire. That people dream, and I dream of a better life. So I've noticed many times that when I have a deep desire to come to a certain place, like I've been in places in the world, like where I've never been, but just being with the desire and dream myself, start to dream. How would it be if I am going to that place, like Israel or like, some desert area in Iran or in, some place, even in Belgium where I live, to find a spot that is unspoiled, that is like wild nature in a way. So just to stay with that as something that is ripening, it's a dream, it's a desire, and then to stay with that and to be aware of the messages that come. Then dreams come true. So I get to places. I expand my work. I expand my world. If I want more work, I will have more work because I dream it. If I want, more students, I dream it, and then they are there. If I want to, it's more difficult with apples though. With my
but you say dream and desire. So literally, it's like it's wanting something. So I dream of something is a phrase. I want something. I desire something very much, and so you're staying with that dream.
Yes.
What's the experience of staying with that dream? Do you want something specific? In what way? What's it like? What are you doing, or is it something that's a voluntary activity? Is it something an allowing? I mean, what's the experience like?
Yeah, I think it's voluntary. It needs focus. It's a voluntary thing. It's waking up every day and in the morning and doing another day. And stay, and the dream is still there, and I need to be patient. So it's about patience. It's about not to want to push myself. It's again, and I come to the rhythm. It's being fidel to the rhythm I have, but still, allowing the small push of the desire in me. That little by little, it will bring me to that place. Many years ago, I wanted, I saw good therapists working, And I said, oh, wow, that's what I want to do in my life. And then I stayed with that dream. I simply went from one workshop to a next one, and then a training, and then go on, and just like a carpenter, like a person who needs to learn how to work with the wood. I need to stay with the task of how to become skilled as a therapist. So it takes time, but I need to be working on it every day.
Yeah. But so I want to slow this down a little bit, because when you use the example specifically of, you say one day I see a good therapist and I say, oh, I want that. I want to be like that. I want to be a good therapist. And you had said before, jokingly, it's not like I want an apple. So it's a sense of, okay, that's a great example. I want to be a good therapist is a sense of, transformation, a sense of, how you want to be. And, interestingly enough, you say it came from seeing the good therapist. So in other words, there is kind of a visual of what's it like. So in a way of grasping of the essence of what it might be like to manifest being a good therapist. It's not an abstract concept. Maybe some sense of the mannerisms, some sense of the... And so the way I'm hearing what you're saying is, in a way, that moment where you see the good therapist and say, oh, I want to be one, is you kind of capture the general essence of what it's like to be a good therapist. Yes. But in a way that you cannot yet, translate this essence into a how-to. And then, over the years, as you study, you get bits and pieces. It's a comparison of what's in the back of your mind, the goal and that essence that you haven't fully articulated. And by seeing little pieces and learning things and practicing things, there's like, a harmony between the various pieces you have and that overall image. And then, in a way, it helps shape you so that you become what this image was and what this dream was. Is that what you're talking about?
Exactly, yes. Exactly what I'm talking about. It's like it becomes complete, and now you go to completion. Then one day, first you go in that direction. You have an orientation. Okay, now I have had this example. It's like the star. You see, I saw the star, and now I follow the star, and then I will get to a place where I will like have the revelation. That now I have become it. Now it's me, and then of course it's me in a young stage, and then I need to get to another level, of meditation. So then I can become, as age goes by, more senior place. But you really described it perfectly well. It's like the whole gestalt of you, it's a lot of things, Who am I when I see myself as a whole? So I need to split it up. I need to reduce myself a little bit to all these pieces, I'm a therapist. I can also, I also like gardening, and I grow great salads, you see. But it's another skill. But both need my focus, and I need to see. So for the salads I grow, for instance, these, then I have to look to the lineage of my grandparents and see how they worked with the tools to work the earth and to grow the salad. So the lessons, I am a multitude of possibilities, and I need the examples, and then through these virtual, to the examples, I also make them virtual. It becomes like a memory, you know, it's like a virtual memory. And with that memory, it still comes up now when I grow my salad, I see my grandfather, you know, growing salad. So it's still there. And if my salad is not so good, you know, then I need to refer to my grandfather, you know, what is it that I didn't do that now this time my salad is not so, well.
So there is in that something about, in a way, you could say there is also an ongoing dialogue with either, we can call it an archetype, because it's the archetype of the ancestor or the grower, or not so much an archetype as a very specific person and an emotional connection that there is there, or maybe the combination of both. But a sense of, in a way, it's living in a world where there is a very deep relationship with, with history or personal history, people. So it's a very rich world.
It's very rich, and it's a world that has proven to be able to sustain itself. It's a world that has been able to do this through solidarity, through working together. When there is a flood and the water is in the house, you know, to work together to build the dikes and to keep the water out. To get the right seeds from, you know, the community to make the plants grow, etc., etc. So it's really a web, you know, and the web always existed. And the web for me goes way, 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 way back. You know, of course, it's my grandparents I've known, you know, and they represent an archetype of the grower, etc. But then, you know, even before that, there are so many signs that I can read in the environment, in places, and in Europe, you know, it's very ancient things you can see. We have the menhirs, we have the places where 3,500 BC people were doing, you know, amazing things. To be able to read the stars, to be able to understand the sign of the Big Bear, that they could, you know, map with menhirs on the earth. So these are all lessons, you know, that again and again, this is a red thread, you know, from the old times to this day. What people are doing is to read the macrocosm and to bring it into their own microcosm. So to make like a conscious part of the creational forces. So to be in tune with these constellations, like the stars and the rhythm of the planets, etc. That makes the crop, see? And whether it's the crop or whether it's the patient, it's very similar for me. It's like, you know, when I look into the other person's life, where did the connection break, you know? Where did you lose your memory? Where have you forgotten to read the signpost? And then many times, you know, people get in trouble because they have no connection with the ancestors. They are raised in a very solitary, very nuclear family situation with very little exposure to the bigger natural world and to the bigger world that has solidarity in it and that has communion and like field work, you know, really feeling the field and the people working there. So that has been very, very much lost for so many people. And if I have another dream, if I have another push in me, it's to help this, reseed in the world, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big vision, if you want, but it's giving me a strong sense of satisfaction to be able to mean just a little bit there, for myself, for my neighbor, for my client, for so many people, my family, to share the richness that life has, to really tell the stories of the good life, and to find inspiration of the good life. It's very simple in a way. It's the wood and it's the fire. Let's go and sit closer to the fire so that we hear each other better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that sounds like a great place to stop for this. What do you think? Would you want to add something else?
Well, I think I try to say essential things. So that's a challenge also. So I hope that the things I have said, that they come across, it's not something very easy, I find, but it's also a magical world, the world, the world of words. To be able to say something that makes sense, and that is talking about a larger picture of where we are connected and relating to the world and to each other. That's that it's a great challenge. It's a great thing. So I hope that something got across that will serve somebody, probably if I do it another time, it will be better, because I have more experience and I will have thought more about the question. So I will continue dreaming about this question.
Well, that's exactly the point.
Great. Thanks for the question.
This is part of the Active Pause podcast at activepause.com.